Hello, Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk viewers. I'm Jordan Golson, and this is the new 2021 Gen 3 Ford Raptor. And I'm out here in Dumont Dunes, California, in the middle of the desert to test it out for you. Now this is a desert running truck. We're actually in Baja mode right now, which is perfect because this is exactly what we want when we're driving out here in the desert. We're on an overlanding drive right now. Slow speed, just exploring the countryside. So a little bit of washboard here. A little bumpy, but not bad. The best kind of truck to drive off-road is somebody else's truck. So one of the key things they've done with this truck is they have gotten rid of the rear leaf springs, which have pretty much been on trucks since the Model T days, and replaced it with a 5-link rear suspension. And actually, it really helps the ride. It's a huge difference. $50, $55, $60. Okay, so went through the whoop section, right? Got to get a good start. Got up just about 65 miles an hour that run. Really good. The faster you are, it just smooths out. It's crazy how it works, but super, super comfortable. I mean, okay, it's not comfortable, right? You're still going over the desert at 60 miles an hour, but for what it is, it's fantastic. That suspension is working hard. They just flew me into Las Vegas. MGM Grand is right there, and we're heading west to Pahrump, Nevada, which is in the middle of the desert. We're gonna test this thing out, but first we gotta drive on-road. There's so much to talk about with this truck, so let's just jump right into it. 3.5 liter V6 twin turbo. Ford calls it EcoBoost, which is some of the best engine technology branding I've ever heard in my life, because everyone else just calls it a turbo, but no, Ford's is different. It's EcoBoost. That's exciting. 450 horsepower, 510 pound-feet of torque. That's a ton. Driving in traffic here in Las Vegas? Not too useful, just sucks down a lot of fuel. And that's a lot of fuel. Let's see. On the 37-inch tires, which this truck has, 15 city, 16 highway, 15 combined. So she's a thirsty girl. If you have the 35-inch tires, 15, 18 highway, 16 combined. So it is a little better. This one has the 37-inch tires because when they said, do you want the bigger tires or the smaller tires? I said, I want the big ones, of course. Why would you not? This one, though the 37-inch wheels are beadlock capable, they are not beadlock from the factory. And there's some weird regulation that says that they can't mount the tires beadlock from the factory, so they are only too happy to have the dealers do that and sell you the part to make that happen and blah, blah, blah. But 37-inch tires from the factory, that's pretty cool. Beadlock capable, fine. So they've changed a lot of things this year. It's the new F-150 and the new F-150 Raptor built on top of that. So you get the 12-inch dashboard here, all the digital display. So if you like that, hate that, well, you're stuck with it here. And you got the enormous screen here in the middle. It says it's 107 degrees right now, which I don't necessarily believe, but it's certainly very hot out. One of the big updates, obviously, for the Raptor is the shocks up front. You have the Ford Racing shocks, 3.1-inch damper, 1-inch rod diameter with the optional 37-inch tires. They're very proud of all that. But the real interesting stuff is in the back. Pretty much the same shocks, but 5-link rear suspension instead of leaf springs like you'd find in the regular F-150s. This is the only F-150 you can get that has that setup, and they say it rides much better on the road because of it. We're going to test it out. I haven't gone very far. I'm basically sitting at some red lights. Rear suspension travel, 15-inch standard, 14.1 inch with the 37-inch tires, and it's about an inch more up front. So if you're whipping through the desert, you're gonna have a whole lot of travel, and it works great. And listen to that purr. We got a whole bunch of drive modes. We got a drive mode button down here, and if you push it, it locks the rear diff. So let's see what we have for drive modes. All right, start with slippery. Don't need that. We got tow haul, sport. I like sport. And I can tell, yep, the exhaust got a little louder. There's a butterfly valve in the exhaust that has 4 different settings. So it's got quiet, normal, sport, and then Baja. So let's see, deep snow sand, regular, Baja, and then rock crawl. We don't need rock crawl. We'll put it in Baja for a second, see if it sounds better. Oh, off-road use only, C manual. All right, well, put it back in normal. Drive along. So we just got a briefing on it. So some prior Raptor owners complained that it didn't sound very good. They said the 3.5 liter V6 didn't quite cut it in the sound department. It's a Raptor, it should be loud, it doesn't have a V8, maybe the Raptor R, we'll see. And they figured out that part of the problem is that they had the double exhaust, and this is what they found in the new version. They had the double exhaust, but the exhaust coming from the left bank had a longer route to travel than the exhaust from the right bank, just because of the way they laid out the exhaust. So what they did was they put this trombone loop in the exhaust from the right side bank. That made the length the same, kept the resonance the same, made it sound much better. Let's try it out. Sounds pretty good. Not too bad. It does ride very nice on the road. Very comfortable, smooth. You don't get the jostly feel. And so it seems like they've done a good job with the suspension so far. Tomorrow, we're going to take it out into the desert, which is a whole different test, but it's going to be good. All right, so you change into sport. Instantly, the steering gets a little heavier. You can hear the exhaust change. It's actually got a list right here on the screen. It shows me the sport. The steering goes into sport mode. The suspension goes into sport mode. The exhaust goes into sport mode. Great stuff. All right, since we're stopped at the red light here, I can give you some more stats. 36-gallon fuel tank, excellent. Yeah, overall width without mirrors, 86.6 inches. And so one of the things it needs, because it is so wide, and this isn't just a coincidence, right? They made it wide and so they could do this. But it's wider than the regular F-150, which is also a big truck. But at the front, you have to have the 3 marker indicator lights at the top of the truck. This year, they've made them into a sort of blade style. It looks really cool. And also they changed the daytime running lights from the regular F-150. They're amber now in this one, so you can instantly tell an F-150 from an F-150 Raptor just by looking at the daytime running lights. There's a regular F-150 over here. I'm sure the guy thinks his truck is very nice. He does not have amber daytime running lights, and so therefore he is not as cool as us. Let's see what he thinks. See? He thinks he's pretty cool, but doesn't have amber daytime running lights. They also put those blade style marker lamps in the back on the left and right, so that instead of the side marker indicators, so those look really cool. The 37-inch tire-equipped Raptor, which is the 801A package that includes a bunch of other stuff, including Blue Cruise prep and these nice Raptor Recaro racing seats. Those are only available on the top of the line 37-inch model, and you get some cool stickers. So you got stickers on the hood, you got stickers on the side, and they will take those off if you want, zero cost, if you don't want to quite be so flashy. And then you have the applique on the back tailgate as well. They'll remove that for you if you don't want that. But if you want the full Raptor experience, you got to make sure you have all that stuff, because as we all know, stickers make your car go faster. Kind of cool stuff up here. You got stitching, red stitching on the steering wheel. You have the Ford Performance steering indicator here at the top to show you that, oh, I can just look straight out and I can know that my steering wheel is straight. That's important. And then you got some other touches here on the side. There's a little American flag over here. This one has the carbon fiber inserts and things. I'm not sure if they're real carbon fiber, but they look nice. But really the special part here is these very fancy seats, which are actually quite comfortable even for a bigger guy like me. So this does have a 10-speed automatic transmission, which in a regular F-150 is really quite good. In this one, you do have the flappy paddle, so you can go change gears and make sure you're in the right gear for whatever off-roading, desert running, exciting things you want to do. Of course, here driving down the highway, we're just going to leave it in drive. That's not very exciting, but that's what driving down the highway is. So you got some cool buttons on the steering wheel. This button here lets you change, instead of using the drive mode selector, right? You can change all this stuff individually. So I can make the steering in normal, I can put it in comfort, which makes it very easy to turn, sport, and then I can't put it in Baja because we're not in Baja mode. Got another button here for the suspension to change the dampers. We got sport, off-road, normal, leave it in sport, keeps it all nice and firm. And then we have this button, which changes the exhaust. So you got sport exhaust, Baja exhaust, which is the loudest, and it says off-road use only, see manual. Quiet, so if you're driving home late at night, you don't want to wake up the wife or kids or neighbors or whoever, you can tap that. Hit it again, you go to normal, sport gets a little bit louder, and then Baja is the loudest. It says off-road use only, but we're not off-road. Yep, that's pretty loud. We're inside, so we're pretty immune to everything. Cool thing, they put it right here on the steering wheel, little exhaust logo, so you can just tap that. Whatever mode you're in, crank the exhaust up to Baja, aka super loud, and go on your merry way, annoying all your neighbors. Or, in this case, driving past Subaru STI drivers and revving the engine unnecessarily. You get all kinds of pops and crackles and turbo overrun and stuff from the exhaust. They're really playing this up this year and saying, oh, we really figured out how to make it sound good, which is fantastic because, you know, you can never make a car sound too good when it's sucking down gasoline and making explosions. So all in, this truck as is with the 37-inch wheels and all the other option packages, Blue Cruise, all that, about $77,000, which in the grand scheme of truck world is like, what, average now? Okay, it's not. It's still a lot of money, but there are plenty of other F-150s that you can get in that price range, or F-250s, F-350s, whatever. It's made on the same line as the regular F-150, which is pretty cool. This is made at the Dearborn truck plant. It's the only one that makes it. They don't make it at any of the other F-150 building facilities, which they said that the folks in Dearborn are very proud of. But it does require a lot of interesting stuff. So they do, the 37-inch wheels are on the same production line. So they had to change some stuff up to make that possible. They do the different exhaust. They do, the frame is different. There's all sorts of different frame points, suspension, and that rear 5-link suspension instead of the leaf springs is a big change as well. And so when a Raptor comes down the production line, they have to adjust to that. So props to them for doing it. They said a lot of the engineering on the Raptor went into making the production work out. So because this is based on the 2021, well now 2022, F-150, which was all new, there's all sorts of cool features in here. There's the shift knob that can fold flat so that you can flip this over and have a workspace. That's pretty cool. There's all the extra lighting features, exterior lighting. You got all the aux switches up here, so you can flip those. Those are nice. You got the Pro Trailer Backup Assist, so that if you're towing something and maybe you're not as comfortable towing, or you just want the computer to do it for you, because that's, you know, technology makes our lives easier, right? you can turn this knob and it will steer the truck backwards for you so that you don't have to, look silly at the boat ramp or something, and you can just impress all your friends, or you just ignore it and back up yourself because, I don't need no computer backing things up for me. You do have the big screen, wireless CarPlay, Android Auto. It does have over-the-air updates. This one has Blue Cruise, which is the hands-free highway driving system, which would not work on this road because it's not a limited access highway. But that would be coming to this as an over-the-air update later this year. So the exhaust in Baja mode sounds pretty good. I like it. And this truck, fast. I like that too. But this road is not what this is built for. It's built to go off-road. And so let's go do that. All right, let's do it again, boys. Gotta get it up to speed. Whoa! Ooh, that looks fun. Pretty controllable even when the rear end gives out like that. Trust the trail. Right on rails. One of the cool things about this truck, and one of the things that makes it so easy to live with every day, is they've managed to shoehorn a full-size spare tire, full 37-inch tire underneath the pickup truck bed. So you don't lose any space to the spare tire by needing to put it in the back bed or anything like that. So if you want to just use it as a regular truck, it's got all the same features as an F-150. It's got the power lift gate that goes down and can power itself back up. You give it a little bit of a push and it'll just close itself. That's great. It's got the rear step that comes out of the rear tailgate. That part's cool. It's got all the tie downs. It's got all the LED lights, and it does have the Pro Power onboard plugs up to 2 kilowatts. So it's not as much as the hybrid F-150, which can do 7.2 kilowatts, but 2 kilowatts can go out into the desert, can run lights, you can run a TV if you want, you could run all kinds of equipment, whatever you need to do to have your desert party or cook or just, get some work done, run an air compressor, all that stuff. You can do that with the onboard power, which is fantastic, and that's such a cool feature for the Raptor, especially where you're going to be driving out in the middle of nowhere if you're really taking this thing hard. So we put this back into normal drive mode since we're just cruising down the highway. And aside from a little bit of a nicer exhaust note, you wouldn't really know that this was anything different than a regular F-150, except for the red accoutrements here and there and the little design things and the outside, and the fact that you're, way off the ground and it's got a different hood and you got some stickers, and the fact that this one is bright orange. You wouldn't be able to tell the difference. So yeah, that's the on-road story here. It's very nice, it's very comfortable, certainly got plenty of power. It's terrible fuel economy, but you're not gonna, if you're buying this truck, you do not care about fuel economy at all. Though, it could be worse. 15 on the combined scale, that's not like the worst thing in the world. It's got all the creature comforts. This is a great truck. I'd buy one.